Hello, we're a little bit later in the week. I've been very busy with a lot of the other stuff that I do on the side, but this week we're at Laguna Seca, famous Laguna Seca, so it's going to be an interesting weekend. Laguna is a very difficult track. I just did a 120.4, which is really good. There are some guys out there that are occasionally in the 19s, so I still have some work to do, but I'm comfortable with this. So we'll start with turn one, which is flat. And then we'll go straight to the Andretti hairpin as we go. And you'll brake, let me bring my brake pedal. You'll brake just about where the 3 board is, the 3 marker is. You see right now we're on the 4, and hopefully nobody hits it, they put it away. So you see I'm getting to the 3, and I'm still on the gas hard. I will transition to right there. I was on the rev limiter. I'm starting to get on the brakes right now, and there is the 3 board. So really 3. Now what is very important when you do that is that you are very, very straight, or as straight as you can. There is no good way to do this. And also that you are placed properly. They have modeled the curbs. Right now there is no curb, but if you put the wheel on the grass, on the dirt, you are sailing off. They have modeled the curves at Laguna even more aggressive than they really are, as in if you touch them there is little grip at all. So as straight as you can be. I actually probably will straighten my wheel a little bit. Yep, there you go. Under heavy braking I straighten it up, and then you turn. You want to be aiming for that apex early. It is really a diamond to apexes. If you look through the corner here, you can see that that's the secondary apex of the Andretti hairpin, and you'll go there. How far you go in between, it's kind of personal choice, and also how the car is set up. So as I get in, you go, I'll get right to that curb. Don't hit the turtle, as we call them. The turtle will destroy these cars. Not so much in iRacing, but in real life. And going on to the steering, by now I'm probably off the brakes altogether and using some of the compression. Now, most cars actually like to have a little bit of a reload. So I'll go to power for a brief second here and out. And the point of that is really to get the car squat a little bit and reload the front end so that I get a secondary bite on the front end. And also I'm gaining some speed. I'm not losing as much speed as I go. Depends how your car is set up, but most cars do like to do this. And if the car doesn't require that here and doesn't like it, chances are it's not going to be good in the rest of Laguna. Laguna requires a very specific setup, and typically it works that way. So here we go, and then to the second apex, and that's where I pick up the gas just before that second apex and opening up the hands so that we get right out. Now it's important that you line yourself up just about where the 3 board is. You're only going to be braking at a 2, but if you have any chance to be straight on the entrance of turn 3, you need to get to the left. Yeah, now I'm ready, so I will be able to go straight, and that's just about, I just went to brakes. Again, I'm not fully straight. It's all difficult here at Laguna, but I'm as straight as I can be. It's not a super hard braking. I stay in 4th gear. Some guys might be going down to 3rd, but it's really hard to put the power down. I like to carry the momentum to there. I stay in 4th, brush on the brakes, turn and back to power early. Work with the diff, work with the shocks so that you can do it. Trail braking in. Off. Go and back to power. See, I'm full throttle right there. Now that's gonna demand a little bit of steering work at the end, I'm sure. Go, 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 go. Whoop, yep. And off we go. Turn 4, just a lift. Now do it early. Aim to get to the beginning of the curb. If you don't get to the beginning of the curb, it's terminal understeer. You'll get in the dirt, and chances are you're gonna end up crashing. So you really want to get early in. And as soon as the car is heading this way, boom, now you know you can get back to power. You can get back to some power, and then hard on, bang, there you go. And that nets you the best exit speed towards turn 5. Use all of the road, but not the dirt. Turn 5, you'll be braking about the 2.5 marker. Looking at the brake pedals again. See, I'm there. And that's where I transition. And you see the number 2 board. The number 3 is actually, you can see it in the mirror here. So just about a 2.5 like I said. Now turn 5, you're catching so much compression up the hill that you will not require a whole lot of trail braking at all. You brake, you turn in, you go in earlier than you think, because then the car just catches. And at this point here, you see I just added steering wheel, which is when I remove the brakes. I very likely am already touching the gas. Now this is not what we normally see, but that's only possible because you're catching so much compression up the hill. Utilize it. Net really good exit speed. Then go and yes, track out as early as you can to that curb. That curb should be starting 10 feet earlier. So many people drop a wheel before the curb, and really the characteristic of the track demands that you do if you want to be fast. So, and again, that curb is super slippery. You touch it, you go. Turn 6, one of the most difficult corners I've ever seen. Now you see you're going up the hill under the bridge, and then just as you approach, now look at what's going on with the curb here. You see that the line of the curb, I'm parallel to it, and then it's going to veer to the right. Now that leads me to try to line myself up to the right. And I've been caught myself by doing this, and then by the time you turn in, you are on the curb and you have no grip and you end up going off. So you have to refrain from following this. This is where your parallel line is, and you'll see that as I approach it, it will come back for me. See, now I'll go to the chopper view to show you that, because that's really cool. You see right there, I'm where I need to be. I'm super close to the curb, and that's when I will turn in. There you go. And that's when I will turn in. But you see right here, I'm away from it. And under the bridge, I was right on the line. So you want to, I'm right on the line under the bridge. That's perfect placement. I go under the bridge, and the curb moves away from me, which would lead me to go back to the right. But if you do, by the time you turn in, you're on the curb, as opposed to if you stay straight, it's the good spot, and then you turn in. Interesting stuff, isn't it? Again, ask me how I know. The wrong camera. I'll go to the cockpit view. There too, so you're braking just about the number 2. I just went to brakes here just before the 2. It's a brake early, brake soft, carry speed, back to power early, because you have such a big hill. And that's what makes it so difficult. Up until here we're uphill. Then it goes to level. Then it actually goes down the hill into the apex. You see that the apex is recessed slightly below. So the car at this point has no grip. So most corners in life, you have a choice. You can either turning in a little bit later and sharper, or earlier and softer. Turn 6 at Laguna, you really don't. Everybody has to turn the same way, the same speed, the same velocity on the steering wheel, on the same spot, because of that little crest. If you are past the crest, you're gone. If you're below the crest, you will be too early. So it's very tricky, and of course very fast corner. We're still going 106 miles an hour in 5th gear. And then as you get towards that apex, again, that turtle, that red turtle here is just, will destroy even GTs. Suspension, maybe not the first time. Then you turn in and go, your car bounces off. You see the front end just washes out, and you want to track out really clean, really precise, because funny enough, we think of it as being uphill all the way, but this is not a big uphill. So you have no forgiveness. After the rebound of the compression of turn 6, you really don't have much forgiveness at all. And you go right up. The hill happens after you have gathered the car. Stay on the right. You don't need to move over. You stay on the right. The track comes to you. And then you need to brake for the corkscrew before the crest. There again. You need to get on the brakes. I'm not on there. But you need to get on the brakes just before you crest, right there, so that you load the front end of the car, and then you go. And then you want to be somewhat on the right. You don't want to be all the way on the far right. If you do, you never turn in. And then you aim for the early curb. Look at the trees. That second tree here is where you want to be aiming, just to the left of that. If you were in a GT, you want to be aiming just on it or to the right. And you see I'm aiming there, and you see that I'm going to miss that apex curb by some. I go back to that chopper view for a split second. And you see, this is how I'm going. And I'm totally missing that curb on the right. And the thing is that if I am on the curb, the angle is too steep. It every single time upsets the car and you end up spinning on the right. Now in the GTs, none of that happens. In the GTs, that drain is the limit. Well, depending how strong your car is. So you cut right through there and go. But in the Formula cars and prototypes, this is the line you want to be. You don't even want to be touching that curve. It's just too sharp. It upsets the car too much. Back to cockpit view. Turn 9. Fast approach. Just a little bit of a lift. You want to turn in earlier. At this point, you're already capitalizing on getting to that apex here. You see the compression, you can visualize it, you can carry a lot of speed through it. And then it rebounds. Very difficult to not go off the track here. It always wants to send you back to the right. Turn 10, very similar. You need to turn in early because again, you get a big depression coming in. Doesn't really matter where you brake. It's a soft braking turn in, get to that curb, use the compression, then power. Do not touch the exit curb. If you do, it sinks you right in. Braking for turn 11. It will be just past the number 2. Well, at least that's where I think it is. There is number 2. I'm still on the gas. There you go. I just went to brakes. Hard on the brakes, but there again, look at the compression. I'm going up the hill. Sorry, I'm getting the compression, and just as I turn in, it falls off camber. So very tricky. You need to be patient, go in here, carry some, actually not carrying some brakes on that, and then track out all the way through. And there you go, all the way through. Now I will run another video here, and I'll make a secondary video just with the fast lap full flow. But this is how you need to drive Laguna Seca. Happy racing!